This is me when I was 15 years old. Actually, this exact video was recorded on my 15th birthday. It was on that same day that I decided to change my life forever. My name is Linus and I'm 18 years old. I weigh about 80 kilograms and I'm about 190 centimeters tall. Some of you may think now that I'm blessed with awesome genetics, and many people would consider my height to be the perfect height, or at least a very convenient height. Now that's true, and I'm incredibly grateful for everything that I am and have. But now imagine the following. I was this exact height 5 years ago. When I was 13 years old, I was 6'3" at the end of elementary school. And of course I was a lot lighter, probably not even 60 kilograms, so I was very skinny. With few exceptions, I was much taller than my peers, which wasn't much of a problem in primary school, but then I switched schools for 7th grade. Where I live, that's the secondary school, which lasts 3 years. Now, I was by far the tallest in my class, even taller than my class teacher. I hated it. I wanted nothing more than just be like everybody else. I didn't get openly bullied, but more or less directly, I got reminded every day that I was different. Some called me giraffe, and while I packaged it as a funny remark instead of an insult, it hurt me. I remember my teacher telling me that I should be grateful for my height and that one day it'll be one of my biggest advantages. But back then, it crushed me. So let's go back to my 15th birthday. It was the day that I decided to start working out to make a change. I started off super inconsistently. I lost motivation and restarted my training many times. But for some reason, one day I don't even remember anymore, it clicked. I locked in. I built my own training plan using an app on my phone based on absolutely nothing. I just threw together some exercises that I knew and created a push, pull and leg day that I would repeat 2 times each per week. So I was working out 6 days a week. One thing that probably helped me the most to stay disciplined was that I did my workouts right after waking up, before school. Now I stuck to this training plan no matter what. You need to understand that your mind constantly tries to find excuses to not have to endure this short-term discomfort. So no matter where I was, I worked out. I've worked out in the cold, in the heat, in the mud, in the rain,
so wet and ice cold,
on a mat and on concrete. So after a couple of months, I started seeing some results. My muscles visibly grew and I sort of became more proportionate to my height. Of course, I sometimes had a week off for whatever reason, for sickness or for holidays, but that's okay, because after that I kept going as usual for months and years at this point. I changed very little about my exercises over the years. Most exercises I did from the very beginning I still do today, but one thing I always tried to do was to push myself a little by adding more weight or making more reps. I also tried to eat as much as possible. Well, I wasn't exactly stuffing myself, but I simply took every opportunity for a snack. At the peak of my bulking phase, I weighed about 85 kilograms. One late night Discord call with my back then relatively new friend Ashi changed everything. For whatever reason, we decided to bike more than 1,000 kilometers from Switzerland along the entire Rhine River up to Bruges, Belgium.
And that's where we'll sleep then.
A year ago, in the summer of 2023, we completed the tour in 10 days. This incredible adventure changed my perspective. I went from my strength training routine to other endeavors. As mentioned, the first one was biking. A couple of months ago in May, I completed my second biking adventure, which was 275 kilometers in 21 soul-crushing hours with 3,500 meters of torturous incline in the Swiss Alps. Then, in the beginning of June, I committed myself to an Ironman, for which I'm currently training for more than I had ever trained before. I also made a video on my full Ironman training routine. Make sure to check it out if that interests you. So I slowly started to shift from just strength training to becoming a hybrid athlete. Now, if you're still watching, that probably means that my words have had some sort of an impact on you, and maybe you got inspired, which is why I made this video in the first place. Now, please keep in mind, there's always going to be drawbacks in your journey. It's not going to be a straight line. You know, sometimes you fall back. You gain fat, you lose progress, but if you stay consistent, if you don't stop, no matter what, then I can promise you, one day you will look into the mirror and you will realize that you now have the body that you've always wanted to have all those years ago, that you now are the person that you've always wanted to be. And when other people are trying to drag you down, if they're making fun of you, then please do me a favor. Take that built-up anger or sadness and use it to become a better person than you were yesterday, one step at a time. It doesn't even have to be fitness. This applies to everything. Be disciplined, keep moving forward. You can't start earlier than now.